Welcome. All right, guys, it's Tuesday Night Football time. My name's Angel. I'll be your host today. Obviously, you see it's just me, my other boys. One of them's sick. The other one's got to take care of some personal business. But you know what? I got you, John, Caleb. I'll hold down the show today. Don't trip. We got a lot to talk about. But first, how was my week? You know what? My week was okay. I told the wife, Gina, that I would say her name, throw her a shout out. So I said it. I'm done. She's a Raiders fan. We'll talk about that later. Nala, what's happening? Other than that, guys, let's get into a feel-good story. We're going to start the show off with some hot topics, what's going on in the NFL. But we'll start it off with a heart-filled story. David Montgomery from the Lions. Watch this clip. So what you're seeing is, so David Montgomery's sister got into a horrific car accident, a paralyzing car accident about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. This is the first game. He's an Ohio boy. He's from Cincinnati. This is the first game that she has got to watch her brother play live since that accident. He got to meet with her before the game, a little heartfelt, hugs his sister. He loves his family. He's a family's guy. I just wanted to start the show off with that to show you guys, you know what? The NFL is more about the drama. It's not all about the drama. It's not all about all that recklessness. They're people like anybody else. So with that being said, let's get into some drama and some recklessness. The next, Mark Sanchez. Yeah, that's a whole thing right there. That's all over the news right now. What they're saying is Mark Sanchez was drunk, attacked if I'm correct, he attacked a truck driver, tried to jump inside the guy's truck. They got into a scuffle, and he got stabbed. He got stabbed multiple times. He spent a couple days in the hospital. If I'm correct, he's probably still in the hospital. But what's the life lesson you learn in that? Don't be drunk in public. Don't start fights that you can't win. I mean, that's kind of crazy. And let's not get stabbed. Because now, the crazy part about this whole thing is he got stabbed, he was drunk, and now, if I'm correct, he's got 3 felony charges. How do you get stabbed and you get charged? That makes you wonder what was really going on. Also, NFL news. Actually, there was a trade today. There's been a couple trades, but this trade actually pleased my heart. And I'm going to tell you why it pleased my heart. Joe Flacco, young Joe Flacco, got traded to the Bengals, which the Bengals, we all know, they needed help. The Bengals needed help. They needed love. But he got traded to the Bengals. And I say this helps my heart. And the reason I say this helps my heart is because that now moves my main man, Schroeder Sanders, to the number 2 quarterback, which he would have never got unless Joe Flacco got traded. But then on the other note is DG, he looked good. He looked decent in his game that he just played against Minnesota, if I'm correct. He looked decent. So what's going to happen there? He may be still end up riding the pine the rest of this season if Dylan Gabriel keeps playing the way he's playing. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, yeah, Schroeder Sanders, he ain't going to see the field. Now, they say the only thing I can really say about Dylan Gabriel where, it might not work out is because he did throw a couple passes where he can't really see over the offensive line or the defensive line because he's pretty short. But with that being said, he still threw for almost 200 yards, 2 tutties. What can you do about that? You can't do much about that. So Also, moving on in the NFL news, I didn't have a clip for it, but I have the news for you. Odell Beckham. One, I think he did this kind of late. So today he decided to accept his 6-game suspension because he's not retiring. He still wants to come back this year. So if he wanted to come back this year, I think he should have probably did that in the beginning of the season. He could be coming back in a week or two. Last year, I guess he got in trouble with PEDs when he was with Miami. They released him. He got suspended for 6 games, not even the first 6 games. He got suspended for 6 games this year, but he just now decided to accept it in week 5. So he can't even come back until week 12, if I'm correct. Yeah, he can't even come back until week 12. So what I want to know is, what do you guys think about these topics? Call in. I got a number for you, 702-608-3259. Give us a call. I'm taking calls today. Let's have a discussion. I'm here in the studio. I got my boy Quan on the 1 and 2s. He's doing his thing. See, look, I threw him a shout out. Now he's hitting it with all the sound effects. But it's all good. So Quan's here. I'm here. We got answers to your questions if possible. So let's move on. Next topic, what we're going to do, recap. This is going to be a Spitfire recap, guys, because one, I didn't get all the props and all the technical stuff for this recap. I literally had to write all this down on pen and paper for you guys. Why? Because I care. I care. Me and Gail, I care about you. Call in. Let's talk about how much I care about you. But, oh, wow, hitting the microphone. Hit it twice. Let's talk about this. So, recap. Let's start with the Thursday night game. San Francisco versus the Los Angeles Rams. Quan, you're on the mic. We're going to talk about this because you were at this game.
Yes, I was at Levi South.
Levi South, yeah. SoFi is no longer SoFi when the Niners are there.
It was about 70% Niner fans, I would say.
I went last year to a game, and it was versus the Rams, too. I'm a Washington fan. It wasn't 70%, but it was a 50-50 split. Definitely was. So tell us about the game. You were there. It was an overtime game. You guys pulled it out. What was the feeling?
I mean, it felt great. They won. The 49ers won on my 49th birthday. The total score was 49.
Yeah, it was.
Total score
it was a birthday event. Birthday event. And, yeah, 49, 49, 49.
Yeah.
Niner celebration. Yeah, that was
dope. The energy in there with the Niners having so many injuries. Like, we were talking, like, I hope it's a good game, even though they'll probably lose because so many people are out, right?
Right.
Mac Jones looks good. Niners are a system team.
Mac Jones.
You could throw anyone at any position, and they look good. They throw running backs in all the time and get them paid, and they go somewhere else and suck. Jordan Mason is doing okay this year in Minnesota.
He's doing all right.
But he was leading the league in rushing last year when Christian McCaffrey was out. Sam Darnold got paid after being a backup with 49ers and showing what he could do. Mac Jones is going to get paid next year for what he's doing.
You guys played, you paid the elusive one, Purdy. I mean, it's a system. You think Purdy could play like that anywhere else?
Not anywhere, no.
Well,
I think he could. Here's the thing. With the right team, anyone could play good. But the thing is,
it's the system, like you said.
Really good quarterbacks always get drafted to really bad teams, and that's why you see the bad teams the same bad teams are bad all the time.
All the time.
Because they don't have a good system, they don't have good management. They're not built to win. You see the same teams good all the time.
Because they're built to win.
Eagles hardly ever suck. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, they've had some years where they have, but you never see 5 years in a row of the Eagles sucking. Even the Cowboys, they don't suck. They're always good. They're always paying players. They're always drafting right. The Browns, they always suck.
Yeah.
No matter what quarterback you put in. Joe Flacco was about to go to Cincinnati and win 5 games in a row.
Easy. The funny thing is, like I was just talking about Dylan Gabriel, how he did good, and they lost. So it kind of really doesn't matter. Like you said, good quarterbacks always go to the crappy teams, and that's just how this NFL world is turning.
Yeah.
Exactly how this NFL world is turning. Okay, so That was a Thursday night game. They won what? It was 26-23.
Yep.
Won in overtime. Now, if I'm correct, did Stafford mess up in overtime? And that's how the Niners got the ball back? Or?
I would say McVay messed up in overtime.
Okay.
They try to run it on 4th and 1 instead of going for the field goal, which is fine. If you kick the field goal, it's tied. Niners have 3 minutes left to go down the field, kick a field goal. Pinheiro just hit a 59-yarder. So he kicked beyond his range already. So they only had to get a little bit of space for him to be able to kick the game winner. So, yeah, go for it. Try to win the game.
You're right.
It didn't work. But the play they ran wasn't that great of a play. Like, it was very predictable.
They got caught in the backfield.
Yeah.
So, life lesson, go for the tie, because now you got a loss. Let's not do that again. All right, so moving on. Let's go to Washington taking on them Chargers. LA teams, man, they didn't have a good weekend at all. That score, 27-10, the return of J5. It was almost like we were just talking about the system with the Niners. He didn't have an exciting game, but the system allowed him to look great. It really did allow him to look great. Debo is like, this is the resurgence of Debo Samuels. He's just whatever you need him to do, catching bombs, running out the backfield. He's doing, and Bill had a great game. He ran for over 100 yards. If you don't know who Bill is, guys, look him up. You call him something else, JSN, but we call him Bill. He had a great game. I think he had 2 touchdowns and over 100 something yards. That was great. All right, moving on. Minnesota versus Cleveland. Minnesota with the victory, 21-17. It wasn't as close as the score looked. We'll just put it that way. It was not as close as the score looked. Minnesota, this was really a dry game. The only real news about it was Dylan Gabriel's first rookie start. Wentz got hurt. They put in their rookie. He came back, let them down to a drive. They won. Well, which they should have won by a lot more, but like I said, it wasn't that close as the score was. Houston versus Baltimore. Now, this was very interesting. 44-10. Now, I understand Jackson's out. Lamar's gone. He's hurt right now. But Zay Flowers is there. Derrick Henry is there. Andrews is there. And they're getting beat by 34 points.
But they were missing like 6 or 7 starters on the offensive defensive end.
Yeah.
But to lose by that much at home.
Because I was watching some of the interviews after, and they were talking like, look, I understand, but this is suck. We got to do a lot better than this. So
Lamar's going to have to come back in the next week or two, and they're going to have to go on a 10-game winning streak.
Gonna have to
get to the playoffs.
They're going to have to, because the AFC is looking tough. Normally, it was always the NFC that was like, okay, they're the dominant conference, but right now, the AFC is looking tough. Okay, so with that, what do we got next? We got the Saints getting their first victory. I mean, it was against the Giants, but it doesn't matter. They got their first victory. They're now 1-4. That's always great. The Giants still going with Jackson Dart. You know, speaking of the Giants, one thing I noticed, and I read this right after Flacco got traded to Cincinnati, Cincinnati didn't even hit up the Giants at all about Winston or the other guy. It didn't hit him up at all. That tells you something. Something else is going on there, too, in New York. That's interesting. Denver beating Philly 21-17 also. Philly taking their first loss, so they're 4-1. Denver, Bo Nix coming out with the victory. That was actually a pretty good game, even though the score wasn't too high. That was a really good game. If you guys didn't watch that one, go watch the replays on that. It was pretty Saquon. There was a Saquon sighting, so that's always good. I had to trade him in fantasy because he just, it was a bust. What do we got next? Dallas.
That's too early of a trade, bro.
Not really. It's already week 5.
That's too early of a trade.
Week 5. Now, somebody told me it was too early of a trade too, but what I traded him for was St. Brown, Amon-Ra. St. Brown.
Yeah.
He's the number 2 receiver in fantasy.
He stacks.
So he's a 20-plus point every.
So who's your running back now?
Well, I still have Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I had Derrick Henry and Saquon. That's the only reason why I could give up Saquon because I still had Derrick Henry. So it was a Saquon for Amon-Ra, which works out great.
How many people in the league?
12. There's 12.
How'd you get both of them?
Because I drafted number 3. I drafted Saquon, and I had Josh Jacobs also. I ended up trading Josh Jacobs for Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Which so far it's only been 2 weeks. So far, Josh Jacobs they were just on a bye, but Josh Jacobs he's doing better than Henry right now. But I'm thinking long range. I'm going for the long game. That's why I was able to give up Saquon because I still got Derrick Henry. Even though the squads, they're hitting me up every 5 minutes for him. They're trying to sweet talk me, muffins. We won't talk about that. All right, so next, Colts beating, oh, man. I didn't want to talk about this one because somebody that I live with is a Raiders fan, and I won't mention her name, Gina. 40-6. Now, why this hurts is because we're a Las Vegas podcast. We are in Vegas. And you try to go with the home teams. You know, we got new quarterback, new coaches. You try to go with the home teams, and this is what they do. 40-6 to Danny Dimes, the comeback player of the year so far. I got really handed it to me because before the season, was so excited that the Raiders, they revamped everything. I'm thinking, oh, man, they're going to be awesome. Or at least they're going to be better than they were last year. And they're not. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. It's the Raiders. Or, as you Raider fans would say, the Raiders. However you say it. I don't know. But moving on. Carolina beat Miami. That's not really big of a surprise. They won 27-24. That was a close game. There was a Waddle sighting. Obviously, we already know Tyreek's gone for the season. He blew his knee to the left and to the right.
I don't think he's coming back ever.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be in Miami next year either.
I don't think he's coming back to the league.
Yeah, no,
he's older.
He's not that older.
He's older.
Call in and let me know how old Tyreek Hill is. Let's see. What do we got? Tampa Bay beat Seattle. Now, that was a good game. That score was 38-33, 38-33, 38-34. Tampa Bay, all I can say is Baker Mayfield. How come they're not putting Baker in the MVP running? There's a couple. If you just went off of play and not names, you'd be surprised who's really leading this league as far as quarterbacks go. Because, you know, quarterbacks are the ones who always seem to always get MVP nods and status. But you got to really think of Baker Mayfield. Right now, you got to think of Danny Dimes. That's, as a Giants fan, if you are a Giants fan, that should disgust you. But again, it's your system. You could even really throw in like Sam Darnold. Obviously, you could throw in Allen because Allen is balling, but there shouldn't be anybody else on that list. There shouldn't be no Mahomes. There shouldn't be that other guy who's injured, Lamar Jackson. But it's week 5. As Quan just said, it's early. Early in the season.
Carolina had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield at the same time.
That's a Browns move.
Yeah, that was definitely a Browns move.
That Baker was drafted by the Browns. That tells you right there. That's very wild. You give up on somebody too early, who knows? But that's a Browns move. They give up on, yeah. And then they sign a guy for $500 million who just rubs masseuses and doesn't play good football. Yeah. I was about to say basketball. Good football at all.
And Carolina, another team, like they had some good years with Cam there, but other than that, nothing.
Nothing. You would have to think of, too, when they first came into the league, and I think they had Mark Brunell. When they first
no, that was he was with the
Jacksonville. Oh, he's with Jacksonville. Who was
They both came in at the same time, so it was
yeah, who was that's interesting. Who was their quarterback? Because their first season, for some reason, they were decent. They had Steve Smith, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, yeah. I'm surprised there's still a team in Carolina. But that's just me talking. Let's see. We got Tennessee beat Arizona, which is really surprised because Arizona's got a stout defense, man. Their defense is legit. But Tennessee pulled that one out. They won by a point. Okay. 22-21. Wow. That was crazy. Detroit beat Cincinnati. Now, Detroit they didn't start the season off too good, but I feel like they're getting into their groove. Goff's not throwing interceptions. They're getting to their groove. That's always good. New England beat Buffalo. Now, if you guys watched last week's episode on Johnny Betts, that was our trap game. We picked New England to beat Buffalo last week. I go somewhere during the week. People don't believe me. I talked to this one lady. She's a big New England fan. When I saw her yesterday, she was just smiling from head to toe. I was like, yeah, you guys won. I like Drake May. Drizzy, he's doing his thing. But we'll see what happens with that. New England, they got good coaching, so they got a good system. We'll see if they get some players to go. Stephon Diggs, he had a resurgence in that game. That was crazy. Over 100 yards, touchdowns. It was like, man, it was the Stephon Diggs sighting. That was cool. Let's see. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. Jacksonville. Are they legit? Or is KC in trouble? Jacksonville pulled out the victory, 31-28. Let's talk about that. So, a couple things happened in this game, and I'm gonna show you a clip in a minute I got a Travis Hunter clip and I got a Trevor Lawrence clip. But we can start with the Travis Hunter clip because he was balling. He was straight balling. The man was out there all day. Look at this. Trevor Lawrence digs and dodges, throws it downfield. Look at this catch. Hunter makes the catch. That's a Colorado catch right there. That's a Travis Hunter sighting right there. Winding it up. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, he looked good last night.
Yeah, he balled. Two people on him. All you gotta do is throw it up. He's a ball hawk. Playing DB, you're at the level that he plays. You got to be a ball hawk to pull those type of moves off. I really do. This next clip, it's not even a clip. It's a picture. I want to show you this picture. Why am I showing you this picture? 60 snaps this man played yesterday. 60 full snaps. If I'm correct, what is that? 35 on the offense, 25 on the defense. When's the last time that happened? Normally it's, all right, you'll play 30 here, you'll play 5 here. This man was in the game. He started on offense and started on defense. Is Travis Hunter starting to get into his own? Is he starting to, and he had 3 receptions for 64 yards. That's a good game if you're playing that much. That's a real good game. Travis Hunter balled out. Now this next clip, I want to show you this next clip because to me it was kind of funny, but it was the game winner. Let's look at this Trevor Lawrence clip. Game winner. Look at him, falling, stumbling. Now, we'll show it one more time because the clip I want to show you after that brought joy to my heart after I watched this clip. Stumbling, falling. Look at all that. But he still got up, dove in there. That was the game-winning touchdown right there, guys. This man is starting to come into his own. But what I do want to show you is all that stumbling made me think of this. Oh, man. Look at that. Bless you. Oh, man. Oh, muddy face. Why is this guy running? I don't know. That was messed up. Now this right here, this man got on them skates. It's like a 20-minute clip of this dude just doing this. Bam. Trevor, this is for you. Bye, Grandma. Trevor Lawrence inspired that clip. I just want to say that. I'm not that type of guy, but I had to show that the excitement in it because of how Trevor Lawrence looked. But he still scored the winning touchdown. Good job. Jacksonville, for real. 4-1. That makes Kansas City 2-3. But would you really think Jacksonville is the better team? I don't know. Call in. Let me hear it. 702-608-3259. Let's talk about it. All right. So next on the list, let's get to boom or bust. Boom or bust, guys. What do we got? Boom or bust. So what is a true boom or bust? Boom is somebody that you think is really just going to play outside of themselves. They're not going to be caught up in, if you were talking fantasy, they're not going to be caught up in, oh, they only scored 15, they scored 20. Now you think they're going to score 30, they're going to score 40 or more. So when you really think of a boom or bust, you want to pick somebody that isn't really, is that guy. Maybe he's only that guy for that week. But if you move on, let's pick it. So boom or bust. Who do I have for my boom or bust this week? So my boom or bust this week, I'm going with Bo Nix. Bo Nix versus the Jets. Now, Bo Nix has had a up and down season. He's thrown a couple interceptions. He's won a game or two. But I feel like Bo Nix this week versus the Jets, he's going to be able to put in some work. Jets' defense, they're kind of sketchy right now. And so I feel like the Nuggets, not the Nuggets. Why I say the Nuggets? Because they're Denver Nuggets. I don't know why I said the Nuggets, because I'm thinking basketball season's about to start. I'm excited for that. But
Tuesday night basketball show?
Ooh.
Starting in February after football?
I'm down. Let's get it. But going on, Bo Nix, I feel like he's going to put in some work, like I said, versus the Jets. My bust, on the other hand, is Saquon Barkley. He had a sighting last week, but this week they play the Giants. And that's even crazier that I think he's going to be my bust this week versus the Giants, because he's going back home to where it all started. Last year when he went back, I think he killed him for almost 200-something yards. But Saquon's not that guy this year. He's still good. I'm not saying he's trash, but you're going to be looking for a down game this week. Saquon's really not going to – he's not going to do what Saquon normally would do. So moving on, we're also doing a thing this year on the show where we're doing a thing called the waiver wire pickups. The waiver wire pickups, where if you're playing fantasy, this is a perfect thing. It's week 5. The buys are starting, so you're kind of like, I don't want to drop players, but I have to kind of maneuver. Now you're actually having to manage your team. First couple of weeks before the buys, you're not really managing really too much. You're really playing whoever you drafted, whoever you trade with, because sometimes you trade too early. But now that the buys are starting, you have to manage your team. So I've got a team of waiver wire pickups for you. I've got a quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, a defense, and a kicker that you can pick up this week when your buys are starting. So I know there's a couple teams that are on bye this week. So my quarterback, when I'm looking over the list, probably only 35% of the ESPN fantasy football players, this guy's actually on a team. Caleb Williams. Now, think about that. Caleb Williams is balling for Chicago this year. He's balling. They play Washington. They play my team this week. He'll probably still have a good game because our secondary is kind of shaky right now. But Caleb Williams would be a great quarterback to pick up to get some good points in this week. My running back from Arizona, Michael Carter. Why would I say Michael Carter? Because think about this. Connor's gone. Connor's gone for the season. So they're actually doing running back by committee. But Carter, he's next up. You need some points. Arizona's offensive line is running back friendly. Michael Carter. That'll be a good pickup for you guys. Wide receiver, Matthew Golden from Green Bay, rookie star receiver, Matthew Golden. Pick him up. I mean, he's got to have a good game. They're playing Cincinnati. We all know how Cincinnati's playing right now. All their stars are on offense. So Matthew Golden, he should be feasting versus Cincinnati this weekend. Tight end, Zach Ertz. The old man is still balling. Give me some sound effects for Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, still balling, catching passes. He is J5's go-to receiver right now. Tight end, Zach Ertz, still putting in work. Do not hate on Zach Ertz. He'll eat you up when you get into that red zone. He'll eat you up. Zach Ertz. Defense, the Jags defense, Jacksonville. I mean, all three phases, they're looking legit right now. Defense, special teams, offense. Jacksonville, not a lot of people have Jacksonville's defense, so it's a great pickup for you guys. Just think about it. Jacksonville right now, they're 4-1, so they got to be doing something right. I think their system is finally starting to go through. I like saying that now, Colin.
And they have the most takeaways of any team in the league by a lot.
So there you go.
They have more this year than they did last year.
You know what's so funny? I think it was 2 weeks ago when I was doing the penalties. Who has the most penalties? Jacksonville. Jacksonville has the most penalties in the league, but yet they're not letting those penalties hurt them like you would think they would be. So if their defense, most takeaways in the league, that's a great pickup right there for you guys to pick up off the waiver wire. Jacksonville Jaguars, man, they're 4-1. What can you say? What can you say? If you told me this before the season, I wouldn't believe you. I'd probably call you a liar. Kicker, Matt Gay from Washington. So far, he's made 9 out of 12 attempts. The 3 that he missed were in the first 2 games. So in the last 3 games, he's been lights out. So he's on a hot streak right now. So Matt Gay, perfect kicker to pick up. If you need a kicker, if your kicker's on bye, do a little. With kickers, you can pick up a new kicker every week, really, if you play it correctly. I had to pick up a new kicker. I had the Colts kicker. He got hurt, and I just picked up Zoltz from Denver. I think he plays in Denver. So, guys, that's your 5 waiver wire pickups for you this week. Don't hate on them. Pick them up. Win your team. Win the games. Win your league. If you're in a money league, where I'm in a money league, I won't tell you my record this year. It's terrible. Where I'm getting hit up every day for players, it is terrible. But the waiver wire, man, that's where you can stay alive in, is at the waiver wire. So moving on from that, what do we got going on next? Let's see. You know what, guys? This is the mini show today. This is the mini show. This isn't a long episode. My squad's out. I got Quan helping me on the 1s and 2s. I'm here for you, but we are going to end with Engel's trash talk this day. Do I got the face thing? The 360 face? Trash. I guess you don't have it when you're solo dolo. But am I really solo dolo? I don't know. But let me tell you this. So this week's trash talk really has nothing to do with sports whatsoever. It's more of an emotional, something that's kind of dear to my heart. So as some of you know, and a lot of my friends know, I'm going to get personal with you guys right now because it is trash talk, but it's self-trash talk. I'm going through some medical issues that have caused me to I would say be a different person, really, not in a bad way, but as far as my health goes, I'm going through kidney failure where I'm having to be on dialysis. I do have good news on that front, though. I did get on the transplant list, so that's good. I got on the transplant list. It's a process. So when I say my health, I feel like I'm a changed person as far as like my strength and the things that I have to go through. I was at the hospital this morning. You wouldn't know why, because I'm here for you. I'm here with you. I was there at 6:00 this morning getting something worked on. Why? Because something broke and I had to get it worked on. But I don't say that because I want people to feel bad about me. I tell you guys this, one, because I want you guys to know that regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of the health issues that I'm going through, that I'm working on, and some of them were self-inflicted and some of them weren't, that I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. And I've got a great team behind me. My wife, Gina, she's my number one supporter. Her, my mom, my daughters, my kids, my number one supporters, with me to the end. I want them to know how much I appreciate them. I want them to know how much I appreciate them. So I wanted to publicly give them this shout out that I'm very thankful to be here with my friends. Quan. I've known this guy since my freshman year in high school. I was 14 years old when I met Quan. You know, he's one of my dear friends. Guy checks up on me all the time. How you feeling? What's going on? Why? Because he's my friend. It's more than being on screen or being here in front of this camera with you guys. But I'm thankful. I've got a good background. I'm a believer. I've got faith. I've got a good support system. But I tell you guys this again, like I said, I tell you guys this because it's been weighing on me, because there's been times where things haven't been getting done that should be getting done and I can't do them. But even on the show, Tuesday Night Football, we have a good support system. John, that's my boy. Caleb, that's my boy. I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Tuesday Night Football. We will be back next Tuesday. Hopefully me and the crew, me and the boys will be here for you guys live at 5 p.m. Check us out. We're here. Let us know. Deuces.